Hello and welcome to our millions of viewers here in Nigeria, the continent and all around the world. This is Lunchtime Politics, where we break down the issues shaping our democracy and the everyday issues affecting Nigerians around the world. Today's spotlight is on one of the most debated proposals in the country's political landscape, the creation of state police. Is this the answer to Nigeria's growing insecurity challenges, or could it become a tool for intimidation and abuse of powers? Now, while supporters argue that state police would strengthen community policing, improve intelligence gathering, and enable faster responses to crime, on the flip side of things, critics are warning about the risks of interference from politicians, human rights violations, and the potential misuse of armed security agencies by state governments. So stay with us here on the program as we get to examine these arguments and explore what the creation of state police could mean for the future of security and governance in Nigeria. But this is Lunchtime Politics. Let's get to check out our radar for you this hour. Former Borno State Governor and APC chieftain Ali Modu Sheriff dismisses former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's chances in the 2027 presidential polls. Former IGP Michael Hero makes a U-turn over his initial thoughts on the establishment of state police. Plus, on the program, Lagos State Police Command arrests over 150 suspects, recovers arms in a raid of the Gondo dump site in Alimosho area of the state. Lunchtime Politics starts right now. Wherever you're watching from around the world, we're live from our HQ studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. Let's bring you up to speed with some of the stories we are following for you this hour. The former Borno State Governor and All Progressives Congress APC chieftain Ali Modu Sheriff has dismissed former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's chances in the 2027 presidential elections, insisting that it is not the North's turn to produce Nigeria's next president. Speaking on our sister political program, Politics Today, Sharif said the North will not support Atiku's presidential bid because it is the turn of the Southerner. The APC chieftain notes that the party is working hard ahead of the polls and expressed confidence that President Bola Tinubu would secure re-election in 2027. The former Borno State's governor also dismissed the presidential ambitions of the Nigeria Democratic Congress NDC's 2027 presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, saying he would not receive the support of northern voters in 2027.
After the Civil War, our leaders have said that there will no longer be this situation in Nigeria. There is an unwritten agreement. Atiku, it's not our turn now.
So Atiku is on his own.
He is on his own because the turn for the South. Buhari just now finished 8 years. 8 years. Now we are talking about, therefore, if Atiku wants to be president, he can wait. He's a leader in northern Nigeria. He is qualified, eminently qualified, but it is not our time now. He has to wait till 2031. That is the time for the North. For now, it is the time for the South. I am not worried about Peter Obi at all because I know the Northerners will never vote for Peter Obi.
Former Borno State Governor Ali Modu Sheriff there speaking ahead of the polls in 2027. We're live in Abuja, the nation's capital, in just a moment, but let's bring you up to speed as well as we get to turn our attention to issues around state police creation. Well, that debate continues to dominate public discourse among those for and against. Well, the Senate has reaffirmed its confidence in the passage of the bill, declaring that it has no regrets over the landmark legislation, announcing that the bill will be transmitted to the 36 state houses of assembly in 2 weeks. Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin disclosed this during a media conference where he addressed concerns surrounding the implementation of state policing across the country?
This bill was well crafted, well thought out.
And there will be no regrets.
There will be no regret. It's a product of collaboration, large-scale robust collaboration amongst several stakeholders, including police experts, legislative experts, people that have sound background in police system, in the area of government. And that's why you saw the massive support on the floor of the Senate that day. Only one dissented. And later he came to even say, oh, I'm not dissenting any longer. I'm abstaining. It's not possible. It's no longer, going to be like the State Electoral Commission. No. You have, if you look at the bill, you have what we call the national minimum standard that shall be specified in an act of National Assembly. And no state police service can be allowed to go below the national minimum standard. When it does so, when that is done, when it derails, of course, the president can invoke the relevant section to get the police service of that state disabled. We are yet to come to the issue of funding. It will be specified in the Act of National Assembly. We are coming there. All that will be discussed through robust interaction and conversation with relevant stakeholders. You talk about Zamfara. You have police force service that has been dominated by the people of Zamfara, who know every corner of that area. It will change the entire scenario for the better. Once the House gets done with it, then it will move to the states. And I can assure you, even before them probably, there is much anticipation, very, very high level of, willingness on the part of important stakeholders to get this bill passed. So everybody is ready.
Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin there speaking ahead of the State Police Creation Bill, which he says will be transmitted to the State Houses of Assembly across the states in 2 weeks' time. Davis Ijele is the convener, Police Integrity Movement. He joins us live now from our Abuja studios. Davis, thank you indeed for agreeing to talk to us. I'm going to frame my questions into 4 segments. We'll perhaps look at the dual system, states control, issues around jurisdiction, and of course the safeguards. But my first question to you would simply just be, is Nigeria even ready for the creation of state police? 2, will that solve the challenges of insecurity in this country? Davis.
Thank you and good afternoon. Thanks for having me once again. Ejiga, let me tell you something. If you say is Nigeria ready for state police, the answer is yes. The same way Nigeria was ready. Local government autonomy. But today, what are we saying? It is the government. Political manipulations of the governors. That has been the major problem and major challenges we are facing as a nation. Listen here. Whenever there's an issue, we always mention Mr. President, even IG, President, IG. Nigerians have forgotten their governors, the roles they have been playing. When Mr. President announced the local government autonomy, all the governors, in respect of their political parties, came together and took him to court. The federal government won the case. Where is the implementation? Our local government today can be boast of having are we boast of having local government autonomy? The answer is no. The money is still ended up in the pocket of the governors. Go and find out. Now the state police, are we ready for it? The answer is yes. Will it help us? The answer is yes. Because I have been saying over and over again, until we localize the insecurity in this country, we will never move forward. We will be approaching the same insecurity with the same manner of approach. Look here, If you have a driver that is not driving very well, you sack the driver. Why are we approaching insecurity the same way? Why? So we have to empower the... See, I am coming from an insecurity or a war-torn zone by the bandit in Omala local government. But I can assure you, if not for ammunition, if not for AK-47 in the hands of the bandit, our local boys repel them over and over again until they overpower them because of firepower. The firepower from the bandit overwhelmed this guy with their local gun. We call it a shoot and load. But even with the shoot and load, they are not, you see, look here. These are people that are not afraid to die. They are not afraid of gun. They are not afraid of anything. They have seen their loved one being beheaded by the bandit. They have everything to face them, but they are not equipped.
So if your opening thoughts, you have made some compelling arguments there. You say we are ready. In one breath, you say we are ready. In another breath, you've cited the issues around local government autonomy. If that has not worked until now, I wonder how you think state police would work. Because what you've alleged is perhaps sabotage on the part of these governors. So how will state police work then? Because these are some of the concerns of Nigerians.
You know why the state police will work? Because the state police is more to the advantage of the governors for political manipulation. And that is my fear, and that is why I have issue with the National Assembly. Because these guys are bound to enact laws that they themselves did not follow the implementation. Look here, every problem we are facing in this country is as a result of the National Assembly. Put me anywhere. Because these guys, they have the right to summon the president. They have the right to summon whoever to give an explanation why so and so is not working.
All right.
But what do we have there? Yes, men that don't look into the grievances and the issues surrounding this country. And that is the problem. And now let me tell you one thing again.
All right.
When it comes to the local government autonomy, why it's not working? Because the governor wants to be keeping the money. But when it comes to security, they want to have absolutely control, which we are saying it is not possible. And I will highlight some of the rules and regulations that will guide the state police and how it will work.
How come the president has perhaps been unable or perhaps appeared helpless to make the governors obey the law? How come he's been helpless? A large chunk of those governors are members of his party, the APC, and yet they are unable to implement a judgment even at the Supreme Court level.
That is the lawlessness we are talking about. Now, let me give you an example. The current IG, Disu, recently toured around the 36 states. It was almost all the states, visiting the families of the fallen heroes. These are the things to boost the morale of the policemen, to encourage his personnel. In fact, he has improved on the rapid response of the police. How many state governors have gone to visit the family of the fallen heroes? Even in their states, you will not see one, except you show me one.
Let's look
the
at...
The president is helpless because the National Assembly, who are supposed to hold them accountable, are also not doing anything about it. And that is why I keep mentioning, look, until we defund National Assembly and put the money into our insecurity, they will not sit up. Because, you see, our insecurity is the police are underfunded. And that is one of the number. Go and find out, my brother. Each police station in Nigeria receives 20,000 as a cost overhead per month. Go and find out. Why has that not changed? Even with the increase of petroleum, 20,000, and that 20,000 don't come per month, sometimes 2-3 months, they combine it to pay. National Assembly, what are they doing about the welfare of the police?
I like the fact that you have had to put the National Assembly on the spot here, and I totally agree with you. I'm not sure what you're proposing or what system of governance you're proposing that we perhaps switch to again, which would perhaps better suit Nigeria. But let's look at this and look at the framework under which this structure is supposed to work, or the state police creation is supposed to work. It's supposed to operate the first part of it is the dual system. So the state police forces will operate alongside a streamlined federal police system. Break that down for us, how it's supposed to work.
See, let me tell you this thing. The state police must never be allowed to be an autonomous state police. There must be a working frame, a system whereby the federal government, the IG, can step in at any time. In fact, when the National Assembly said there must be a process for the National Assembly for the IG to step in, it's an error. That is why I have problem with some of their bills. This IG has the authority, must be given a prerogative authority to step in at any time. And mind you, go and write it down. If they venture allow the governors to appoint the commissioner at the state level, we will have nothing but political talks at the helms of our security. Because the state also have their security vote over the time. See, let me tell you something you need to know. The Nigeria police over the time have been even operating on a state level. That is why we have state commissioner. And the governor is the security head, is the #1 security commander-in-chief of the state, which he can give order to the commissioners. How many times have they used that to solve the issue at the grassroots level? So see, what we are doing is not to increase the governor's power. And that is why I don't even encourage you to be in a hurry for us to pass the bill before the election. Because look, if we get to the state assembly, it's just all majority of the state assembly members are just a robot in the hands of the governors. So they will not be able to decide on their own and to pass it one hand, because that favors the governors and favors the next election. And that is the problem. So they must give a time frame. Let Nigerians, let civil societies, let individuals come up with proposals that will make this thing work. They should not handle it like the same way they handle the local government autonomy that is not working. And that is the problem.
I was going to get to issues around state control, but you have reflected that in your thoughts already, which you have said that indeed this could perhaps be a tool for intimidation and, of course, abuse of power on the parts of governors. But when you say the IGP can step in, something, or should say, has been boiling for quite some time now. The body language from the Commissioner of Police in that state suggests that it takes orders, of course, from the IGP at the center. The governor, Ademola Lookman, has appeared helpless for months now, maybe until the recent meeting between the IGP and Ademola Adeleke, rather. So I'm just wondering in my mind, when you are insisting that perhaps the center or the IGP should have a hold on the police, are we not perhaps going to see some of these kind of interferences from the government at the center?
No, there will be a balance to that. Let me tell you, that is one of the things I said earlier, political manipulation. And even at the federal level, we still have this problem, and that is why I say the National Assembly are the problem of Nigeria. Look here, any problem you are seeing in this country is from National Assembly, because they are saddled with the responsibility to hold every single organs of the government accountable. Are they doing it? Well, as you see them summoning the IG in a case like this, you can't see them doing it. Because
they have had to summon the service chiefs.
In Nigeria, we have what we call party men. The system is broken, brother. We need to fix the system. And the National Assembly must fix that system.
I hate to, Mr. Jelle, just a moment. I hate to hold brief for the National Assembly. Allow me just play the devil's advocate for a few minutes. But is it fair to put all of the blame on the National Assembly? There are three tiers of government here: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. So is it fair to put the blame solely on the National Assembly?
Yes, because even the executive, the legislative, and every other organs of the government answerable to the National Assembly at any point in time. At every point in time, they can summon the Chief Justice of the Federation at any point. At any point in time, they can summon the president. At any point in time, they can summon the IG. They can summon whoever. They are saddled with the responsibility to make Nigeria work. They are saddled with the responsibility to uphold our rules and regulations and our law. Let me ask you, how many times have you ever seen the National Assembly playing any of this role? A National Assembly that will be singing, on your mandate we shall stand. You see, look here, I'm not saying they should not play politics and they should not be party men. But when it comes to the issue of national interest, put your party aside, put your interests aside, and face the nation. And why are they sending their children to abroad? Why are they sending their children to US, Canada, and other countries? Is because of the system that works. And if you want to dwell on the party system, not to allow the system to work, is the reason we are here where we are today. See, National Assembly have the rule, the right to summon, they have the prerogative authority to summon whoever. And why it's not working is because they have not been doing what is right. How many times? In fact, let me tell you this. Look, Mr. Jelen,
because we are absolutely pressed for time. Allow me to squeeze in as many questions as possible. When you say the children of those in the National Assembly are outside, those on the executive arm as well have their children abroad as well, schooling. But let's take a moment and listen to the former Inspector General of Police, Sir Mike Ohiro, who has made a U-turn over these initial thoughts about the establishment of state policing. We'll come back and then I'll take your concluding thoughts.
Initially, I did support state police. When the issue of state police came up, I proposed the idea of geopolitical police. That is, you have to choose geopolitical in Nigeria, each zone having its own police force, you know, and taking care of the zone. But since the state police is anything now, and the National Assembly is working on it, well, I have to subtract my earlier submission and see how I contribute my own little quota on how state police can function effectively, the rules and regulations, the guidelines that can protect the state police, protect Nigeria, because there's great security in Nigeria right now, and if state police the answer to the question, I give my support, want to make my contribution. If you have the state police and there are no checks and balances on how the government manage the police, there will be no opposition in any state. The state government wants to drive away the opposition and use the police as they liked, and that take us back to the incidents of Operation Waitie in the 60s that brought the reason for Gowon to come to unity police. We may go back again to where we started from. If care is not taken, that's why I say the conditions should be well written out.
Welcome back to the program, everyone. Our focus this hour is the creation of state police, and Davis Ijele is my guest who has joined us from our Abuja studios. Davis, we have to round off our conversation in just a moment, but perhaps two questions in one or two, because this proposed decentralized structure of the police captures, four angles. There's a dual system, there's the state control, there's a jurisdiction and safeguards. We've hammered on the first two. As we consider jurisdiction, perhaps, and the safeguards, I wonder perhaps what you think we need to put in place to ensure accountability and protect democratic principles. Plus, I'd like you to react to the position of former IGP, Mr. Mike Ohiro's position as well.
You see, if you listen to the former IGP, Mr. Mike Okiro, what it is in all, he ended up his submission at the foot of the National Assembly. He said he has his no reservation, but for now, the bill is before the National Assembly and they are working on it. He ended his thought also at the table of the National Assembly. That is what we keep saying. For this country to work, the National Assembly must be up and doing. Now, they must create a framework between the central, the state level, the zonal coordinators, and the zones. Now, the chain of command are going to be, you know, not the same way as it were. But how well is that change of command will function is still the equation in the National Assembly to solve. Because you cannot say because it is a state police, they are on their own. And that is why I said the governors must not appoint commissioners. He can nominate through the Police Service Commission, approval from the IG back to the Police Service Commission, then to the state.
Yeah, in 20 seconds, or less, Mr. Jared, yes. In 20 seconds or less, how about the 001 of this country, the one who is referred to as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces?
The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces is at the same time the Commander-in-Chief of the police, if you are not aware. IG is acting always under the instruction of Mr. President. Our army, all the security apparatus answerable to Mr. President. IG report directly to the Mr. President. So it is not. It is the same. It's just like local government. What they are trying to do.
So he's doing so well. I mean, my question. What I was asking is that he's doing, because you've not said anything about him. I imagine that maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, he's doing fantastically well.
He has to. No. Listen to this. Police. I started by saying police we need funding. The police. See, I have interacted with police. I have seen a lot of issues. There is not, how can you solve a problem of giving a police station, a command center, 2 vehicles for 10, 15 years without maintenance, only sending them 20,000 per month? Mr. President, you got to increase the budget of the police. See, our police is not well funded, and that is why we have some of, don't get me wrong, some of them are mischievous on the street, some of them are lawless. And that is why the current IGs and the former IGs have put a lot of measures. See, the former IG sacked more police.
We are absolutely pressed.
And this current IG is also doing the same thing. That is the only way.
Well, he's only been there for a few months.
And increase their welfare.
He's only been there for a few months. We'll watch him and see how he performs in the coming months. We'd like to leave it there and anchor our conversation this hour with you. Davis Ijela is the convener, Police Integrity Movement. Thank you so much for your time on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Well, with that conversation, we conclude the program this hour. Thanks indeed for watching. On behalf of the production team and the guys here at the back end, I am Kelly Egiga, and you have just been served on Lunchtime Politics. Good afternoon.